guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, I had a guy comment on a video yesterday about a situation he was in recently, where he was hanging out with his best friend and his best friend's girlfriend and some of her friends. They hung out one night, etc., and the next day, apparently it got back to him. His best friend's girlfriend's friend said that he was weird because he wasn't paying enough attention to her. They were all hanging out, and he claimed that, he was friendly, introduced himself, made some small chit-chat, small talk, and that was that. But she was now saying that he was weird because he wasn't talking to her enough. And he wanted to know what the hell. So, as you guys can probably imagine and probably predict what my answer is going to be about the situation and her, I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm going to read his thing just word for word, and I'm going to get into this whole thing. So he says here, SSM, or anyone else in the comments, please help me with my confusion. I went out with my mate, his girlfriend, and her friends last night. One of them told his girlfriend that I was weird because I didn't speak or pay enough attention to her, even though I introduced myself and spoke to her for a bit. Was it not enough? WTF does that even mean? So, bro, getting right to that, to the heart of the issue, it was not because you were weird. It was because you weren't giving her the attention and validation that she was used to getting. End of story. If she is remotely above average looks and she's young, and I'm guessing the way you're writing this, I'm guessing you're probably young and still learning, that she was probably above average looks and young, and she's used to probably getting attention and validation from guys all the time. And the fact that you weren't giving it to her for whatever reason, or at least in her view enough, that irked her. So basically, it was easier to label you as weird than to actually say, okay, maybe he wasn't into me, no big deal. And this all boils down to what I talk about all the time about women and attention and validation. It is like a drug to them. All right? I don't think we're ever in an era of more narcissistic people than we are today. And it goes both ways. You have both sides are more narcissistic than ever. But in the younger crowd, the Generation Z and millennials that really grew up with social media and all, especially Generation Z. But of that group, women, they take it to a whole new level because they're used to attention and validation all the time. Like I said, on social media, whether it's Instagram, TikTok now, all the other things like that, they grew up with that. And so, and the joke is literally like, does it ever happen unless somebody posts something on social media? So you have these gals that are getting attention all the time on social media, so they expect it wherever they go, and especially if they're good looking. So by you not doing that, now you may have not given her that attention and validation for a number of reasons. Number one, probably the most obvious, you just weren't into her at all. Maybe she wasn't your type, maybe she wasn't good looking enough for you. Or two, you've learned not to bombard the gals with attention and validation. You were friendly, you were cordial, little small talk, chit chat, but you were there to hang out with your bro and have a good time. And that's good, because you should never give women too much attention at all. And it made her crazy. Or simply that some combination of both of them. Who the hell knows? But the point is, this is the generation, this is the attitude, okay? And I once heard a guy say, and I thought it was perfect, that when it comes to women, they are like plants. The way plants need water and sunlight to live and exist, it's the same thing with attention and validation, because they cannot function without it. I have a friend right now. I've been friends with her for like 10 years, and she's now married, has a kid. She's off the market, late 30s. And let me tell you, 10 years ago when I met her in her late 20s, when she was still technically in her prime, let me tell you, she was damn good looking. She was an 8, in my opinion, in the looks department. Good body, pretty face, feminine, always got attention from guys, okay? Guys noticed her. The thing is, it was never enough for her, right? And I was told once by her roommate that when they'd go out to the bars in Boston and all that, the clubs and stuff like that, if she didn't get hit on, like obviously hit on by one dude a night where he'd try to get her phone number or something like that to seal the deal in that sense, she'd go home all bummed and depressed, feeling like she was not attractive enough because some dude didn't hit on her and want her number, right? Even though plenty of dudes were into her wherever she went. She'd walk in a room, boom, whoosh, blonde hair, long blonde hair, feminine, even her. And it's interesting because usually the better looking they are, the more attention and validation they need to keep, making themselves feel good. She couldn't take it. All right. And it was just hilarious to me. It doesn't surprise me now, knowing what I know, but 10 years ago, I was still in the learning process, but you see what I mean. So it was all about the attention and validation. So no, you are not weird because you didn't give that to her. It's just simply her ego couldn't handle it. So guys, this is a perfect example of what I talk about all the time in this channel. And for you guys that do dating, relationship, pickup, all that, again, this is the relationship channel, but I'm pointing out the obvious when I can. This is where you want to be in this type of place where the girl is actually feeling she's not getting the validation, so it's making her crazy, you know? Because she probably brought that up. She obviously bugged her, so she had to bring it up to this guy's girlfriend because she knew to get back to him. And probably was hoping by her saying, oh, well, he's weird because he wasn't paying attention to me, that this guy might actually chase after her. Right? That's what would probably happen, and that's what a lot of guys probably would do. So in this situation, since you probably weren't even interested at all, dude, I wouldn't, obviously don't even worry about it, but if you, let's just say you were, don't give her what she wants. Don't chase after her. So if you're all hanging out next time, you can even be a smart ass and say, oh, you think I'm weird, huh? And see what she says. Or not. Whatever. But that's what was going on. So no, you're not weird. But guys, this is what you can expect. As more you guys gain this knowledge, more you guys understand, don't go chasing after women, don't bombard them with attention and validation. It's going to make them nuts. Okay? And again, you know, remember during the first few months of COVID when everybody was in varying degrees staying at home, not going out, and a lot of guys, this happened to me, and I'm sure it happened to a lot of you guys. I was reading articles and stories about this, how all these exes or people they knew from their past were reaching out to them and all that because they were stuck at home and they couldn't get all the attention and validation in person, so they were reaching out to all these exes or dudes they knew so they could chit-chat and text and all that. Same thing. They can't function without it. So, guys, perfect example. That dude who wrote this is not weird. It's just her ego couldn't handle it. Welcome to today's world, to the modern gal nowadays. So for you guys, again, do dating relationships, this is what you can expect. And when you don't do that, it makes them crazy. It makes them wonder, what's wrong with me? Am I not hot? He doesn't like me? And they obsess. And by the way, guys, notice how when it comes to like bad boys, for example, bad boys don't give the gals all the attention and validation they want either, and they chased after them. And I'm probably I gotta wonder if this continues. She'll eventually chase after this guy. You know, like first it's saying he's weird to see if like he'll chase after her, and if he doesn't, I'd be very curious to see what happens down the road. So if you're watching this, bro, you're not weird. Report back, email me, let me know what happened down the road if she chased after you or something like that, because I could see that coming. But it obviously bugged her. But no, you're not weird. And so, perfect example, guys. If you are in this situation, and a perfect example of how the lack of attention validation makes them freaking crazy, because let's be honest, they're all a bunch of narcissists nowadays anyway. So, all right, guys, that was a real quick one, but it was a quick thing I picked up on when I was scrolling through the message yesterday. That was a good one to cover. So, guys, if you have any questions you'd like to ask me, something's bugging you, something you're trying to figure out, whatever happens to be, email me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. I can't always guarantee I'm going to catch a comment on the videos because I get thousands of comments a day. But if you email me, have a good question, I think I'll make a good video, I'll definitely cover it down the road. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.